What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we got a little bit of fine tuning to do on this truck. So I want to try to get my EGTs down a little bit. We'll see if we can. I'm going to try to adjust the timing and the fueling of the injection pump. So right now at about 60 mile an hour in fifth gear, I'm on flat ground. I'm about 1,000 degrees. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to retard the timing. It's at about 62 right now. I'm going to drop that all the way down to 50 and see if that makes any change. And then I'm going to jump my IQ up, which decreases the fueling. So I'm going to do one at a time though. So first we're going to drop the timing and then we'll go take it for a drive. If that doesn't change anything, then we'll jump the IQ up, which I want to decrease the smoke level a little bit too. So adjusting that IQ is going to help with that. And hopefully it'll help drop them EGTs. So we got to get this thing at operating temperature, and then we can hook up to VADCOM, adjust the pump timing, and we'll see if it does anything at all. Alright guys, we're cruising about 60. My speedo is quite a bit off, and you can see literally right about 1,000 degrees. So let's go adjust this pump and see if we can change anything. So we got the timing right about 53, 54, and it was about 64 before. So let's go try this, see if that helps at all. All right guys, we're on the same stretch of road, same mile an hour, and we're right about the same, just over 100 or 1,000 degrees. So we're gonna have to pull some fuel out and see if that helps. Our IQ right now is right about 3840. So I'm gonna jump that up 2 points to about 6, and we'll see if that helps. So to adjust the IQ on these, all you really need is a T30 Torx and a rubber mallet. So what you want to do is loosen the bolt holding the actual quantity adjuster to the body of the pump. Since a lot of us don't have this weird triangle socket, you can just loosen the 3. So there's 1, 2, 3, one on the back side. So you loosen those up a little bit. You don't want to go too much. And then you can hammer the pump, the quantity adjuster, towards the rear to lower the IQ, or you can hammer it to the front to raise it. So I'm going to raise the IQ, so I'm going to hammer the pump to the front of the engine. All right, we got the IQ up to 60, so let's go try it out. Alright guys, same spot. We're about the same temp, right about 1,000, so I'm not sure why this thing isn't cooling off. I may have found a slight problem why this thing is heating up. So I adjusted these rear brakes about maybe 2 weeks ago, and when I adjusted them, they were spinning fine. Everything seemed fine. They weren't binding at all. But now I jacked it up just to double check, and this side is pretty hard to spin, and this side spins a lot easier. So I think this brake may have been just adjusted too much, and those pads are dragging right now. So I'm going to loosen them up a little bit, get this wheel spinning smooth and no binding at all, and then we'll go drive it, and hopefully something will change. All right guys, back this side off. Now we're spinning good. So let's go drive it now, and hopefully we get some lower EGTs out of the deal. All right guys, EGTs are a little better now. What about 930, 940? So definitely a little bit better. So just out here testing some things. So I've noticed this thing definitely likes a little higher RPM for EGTs. I'm out 55 right now in third. If I hit fourth, it'll just climb up to like 700 just to keep it cruising. All right guys, as you can see, we got the EGTs lower just a little bit, but this thing really likes more RPMs at cruising speeds to keep the heat down. If I'm in fifth gear going like 55, I'll be at about 1,950 to 1,000 degrees. But if I shift down to fourth, I'll drop a couple hundred degrees. So I think this thing really just needs some gears. With the 35s, it probably needs a set of 48s or something in it, but not too worried about it. Other than that, it drives great. The only other thing is coolant temperature. So I believe it's a 90 Celsius thermostat in there, and I'm running about 95. And when I'm like pulling a hill or something, it'll come up to like 100. And I think the biggest problem is just not enough airflow into the radiator. I have the big bumper on it that blocks a lot of the flow, and then up in the grill, I have the intercooler in front of the radiator. So I'm not really sure how I could get better airflow other than just like pulling that light bar out. If you guys got any ideas, let me know. I think more airflow into the radiator would keep it a lot cooler. So the next thing I want to do to the truck today is I'm going to wash it. I'm going to give it a final polish, and I still haven't waxed it. So we're going to put a good wax on it, and just to keep this clear protected. So let's get scrubbing, and I'll show you exactly what I'm using to polish it. What I'm going to be using to polish this thing is a dual action buffer, just your generic polishing pad, and then I'm going to go for this Malco polishing cream. I've actually never tried it, so I'm going to give it a shot. I usually use the Swirl X swirl remover, and it does a pretty good job, but I want to try this stuff out. So the main reason I'm doing another polish on it is when I cut and buffed this thing, it was still pretty soft, the clear was, and I was really having issues getting all the swirls out. So now that it's hardened up, I think one more last solid polish on it will pull all the swirls out. And then, like I said, we haven't even waxed it yet, so we need to get some wax on it to protect that clear. All right guys, we're pretty much done with the polish on this thing, but there's a few spots on this door. I don't know if you remember when I painted it, there was a few dings I missed and I filled them in, but I think that finishing glaze shrunk. I noticed a little bit, but now that I have gave it a nice polish, you can really see the scratches. See if I can get it. I doubt you'll be able to see it on the camera, but there's like, you can see the outline of the little filler and the little sand scratches in it. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to fix it. I'm gonna try just 2000 grit. We'll sand it and see if that will flatten out at all. And I'll see if I can show you guys what it looks like when I sand it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Right where I sanded, you can barely see some sand scratches in that clear. There's another one right there. You can kind of see the outline of where I put filler. So we're going to continue sanding. That was just a very, very, very light scuff, just so I could show you guys what it looks like. So we're going to sand that all the way flat, see if we can get it out, and then give it a buff and see how it looks. All right, we got that sanded out, and I don't see any of the scratches anymore, so it looks like it flattened out pretty good. So let's give it a buff. All right guys, there it is. Looks like it all came out. So very, very happy with that. There's absolutely no scratches coming through that clear. So now I just gotta do a final polish and then we can wax the whole truck. All right guys, like I said, I'm using that next generation wax and I'm just using a finishing pad made for waxes. So we're just gonna spread some on there, go around the whole truck, and then I'm gonna hit the jams too, so we'll just use a little applicator pad to get the tight areas, and then we should be done. We are done, guys, all waxed up, looking good. There it is, guys, all done. I am so happy that those little sand scratch areas came out. I seen them a while ago when I was washing it, and I didn't think that they actually would sand out in the clear. I thought it was, obviously it shrunk below the clear, but somehow sanding the clear took them right out. You can't see them at all. So very, very happy that we got those out. So we finally got some wax on it. So this will be protected from water spots and the sun and everything, so keep it looking good. I can honestly say this thing is the nicest paint job I have ever owned in my life. There's a few things with this truck that it's only going to get worse, and we're talking rock chips. We got one there, couple of little ones, but nothing too bad yet. We'll see. These tires really throw some rocks around, so, and the driveway's gravel, so that doesn't help. But as it sits right now, I would say this thing is 99% perfect. There's no scratches at all. there's just a couple little, like I said, those little rock chips that I did myself. So very, very happy with how this thing's looking. I really wish you guys could see this in person, how clean and straight this Toyota is. You don't see these things very often in good shape. They're usually all rusted out, beat up, and just don't look good. So I'm kind of curious how many guys we have local here. So if you're local to Spokane, comment down below. We may have a little meetup. Nothing is set in stone yet, but me and my brothers are working on something. Cameron and Devin. Cameron's gonna bring his bike out so you guys can see that in person. And Devin, I'm sure, bring a couple of his cars. So we're trying to work something out right now. It'll probably be next month if we do anything. So like I said, nothing's set in stone, but it would be really cool to meet you guys, and you guys could check out the truck, check out my brother's toys. So comment down below if you're somewhat local and could make it to that event. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.